Hello, in this video we're going to talk all about the relationship between dieting and weight loss. I know this is incredibly personal to everybody individually, but for me it's something that has had a massive impact over my life really, and that is how it works out between being on a diet and the weight you're losing. So let's cover it now. My name is Mark and I'm here to help you live a better, healthier life. And my goal is to help as many people as I can get into better shape and improve their quality of life. And now, without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Okay, so what's the relationship between dieting and weight loss? As I said in the start, it is quite a complicated one in terms of it affects you individually, you're different from me, and this is just my personal take on it. But one of the things that I've found over the years is that cutting calories, so dieting in effect, cutting calories for weight loss is better than increasing your exercise. Now that's not to say that increasing your exercise won't help. It's helped me, it will help other people as well. But it is one of those things that when it comes down to it, most of weight loss is about cutting the calories, having less calories than you need to maintain your current weight. Now there are lots of free calculators out there. I'll put a link in the description for one. And there are things called TD calculators. And effectively those calculators are all about how many calories you need to actually eat. So if you eat more than that, you'll bulk up, you'll put weight on. If you eat less, you'll cut weight and go from there. That's at its very simplest even. But the thing for me here in terms of the relationship between dieting and weight loss is that a lot of people, once they come off a diet, put the weight back on. Now, not necessarily all of the weight, but quite often they'll put all of the weight and maybe even some weight back on. And that's because they've come off this diet. In your head, you prepare yourself, or I do, I don't know about anybody else, but you prepare yourself to be on a diet for a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, whatever it is. You've got a goal to look good for a wedding, to get into a dress, to wear a pair of trousers, whatever it is, you've got a goal. You go for that and you stick strictly to your diet. But the problem is that with a lot of diets, because you're restricting yourself so much and you're not having the foods that you actually enjoy eating, that actually, although the diet is great for losing that weight, as soon as you get off the diet, you then immediately go, happy days. I can have all the crisps, chocolate, junk food, whatever it is, and you end up putting the weight back on, slowly or quickly. And I say this from a place of experience. I've done it so many times, and it leads to that whole yo-yo effect of you go on a diet, you lose weight, you stop the diet, you put it back on. And it is that horrible thing between where you're going and where you're getting to. You get there and then you go backwards. It's something that's been the bane of my life for a long time, and although I know that, it's really hard. Now, I know that when you're on your diet and you're taking your measurements, your body can actually fluctuate by up to 5 or 6 pounds on a daily basis, depending on your exercise, your water, your food, and everything else. So there's always that variance where you get, literally 5 or 6 pounds. That's almost half a stone potential difference between your lightest in that 24-hour period and your heaviest in that 24-hour period. So make sure you weigh yourself at a similar time, having done a similar thing. For me, I do it after a dog walk. I have a shower, I weigh myself. That's it in the morning, first thing. At that point, I've not had a cup of tea, I've not had a cup of coffee, I've not had any breakfast, but it's a safe standard time to actually make that weigh in, so that I'm roughly going to be proportionally the same every day. Now, it is a big risk. You come off a diet, you put the weight back on, and lots of people, like I said, gain their weight back and sometimes even put more on, and it becomes a struggle. But there's this whole thing about willpower versus, consumption. So when you're in that mindset, or when I'm in that mindset of I'm on a diet, I've got that whole mindset of I am going to eat less, I am going to control the calories, I'm not going to touch the junk food, I'm going to eat more vegetables, I'm going to eat more protein, I'm going to cut down on my carbs. For me, as you probably know, low carbs works for me. All right, but then as you go on for that for a day, a week, a month, you get these cravings coming in of I just want rice, I just want pasta, I just want those things that probably helped you put the weight on in the first place. Certainly for me, those are the things that in too much quantity, and again that's probably another one, isn't it? Everything's fine in moderation. I've never been very good at moderation. My bowls are too big, I'll go back for seconds, because I enjoy eating far too much. So one of the things I'd like to talk about is that dieting and weight loss. Dieting is great to get you to a specific goal. It's fantastic. If you want to lose that stone, 10 pounds, whatever it is, it's really good at actually getting you there. But longer term, once you come off that diet, you are at risk of putting the weight back on, because you may well go back to your old habits. You may even go off the rails for a few days, and that will put you back in terms of your progress. So what I suggest to you is diets are great for losing a specific amount of weight over a period of time. I'm going to restrict my calories to 1200, 1400, whatever it is. I'm going to do this for a couple of weeks to basically jumpstart my fitness journey. And I've done that, and it's really good for that. But on the longer term, you need to look at your lifestyle, and it needs to be a lifestyle change. How often you eat, what you're eating, what you have in the house to eat. It's one of those things that I'm finding that a diet is great for that initial lose some weight, get on the rails, show some progress, put a big smile on your face because you can get into that pair of trousers, jacket, skirt, dress, whatever it is. But then over the longer term, it needs to be a lifestyle. It needs to be something that you can maintain for months, for years. I'm not saying that you can't have a cheat night, or a cheat day when you're, with friends and family at a family occasion, enjoy. But generally speaking, if you can actually have it no longer as a diet for a specific bit of weight loss, but you can have it as a lifestyle, eating more vegetables, eating less carbs, if it's for you, however you want to do it. I know there are out there all the different types of diets, from paleo to all sorts of diets. But the simple fact is that if you can get to a point where you're not craving specific foods, you're not having a craving for chocolate or a craving for pasta or craving for whatever it is, and you get to the point where you can maintain that and it becomes a lifestyle, you can healthily lose weight going forward. For me, the relationship between dieting and weight loss is it's great as a short-term fix, as a short-term kick up the behind to get yourself going. It's fantastic. But long-term, if you diet and come off, you put the weight back on, you then don't feel very good about it, you then diet, you lose the weight, it becomes a cycle of yo-yoing, which I have done for years. I've lost a couple of stone, I've put a couple of stone on, I've lost a couple of stone, you get the idea. So for me, dieting and weight loss is about getting to a specific target quickly and efficiently, but then it has to be a lifestyle change. And one of those things, like I mentioned it in terms of willpower versus consumption, generally speaking, if you're anything like me at all, you have the willpower to stick to the diet for a period of time, a week, 2 weeks, a month. But all the while you're on that diet, you have these cravings building for things that are not healthy for you, or certainly not healthy in volume. So as soon as you go, right, I've done my month, Yeah, I've done my month. You then start eating all those things that you have been putting off for that month and end up putting the weight back on. So for me, the relationship between dieting and weight loss, although very personal to you and to me, dieting is great for a goal. I'm going to do this for a week or 2 weeks or a month, but it's not consistently achievable for years, because there will be things that you're craving, there will be things that will build up to the point where all you can think about is having that particular food, whatever it is. So for me, dieting is a short term. It is a focused goal of, I want to lose 7 pounds, 10 pounds. I want to get into that outfit. I want to be able to do something specific. But you need to be thinking longer term than that if you want to maintain your loss. So maintaining loss becomes about a lifestyle, a choice that you and I both have to make in terms of, what do we want to get out of this? Do we want to drop 2 clothing sizes only to be back there again in 3 months' time, or less, or more if you're fairly well behaved? I just know I'm not. But it is one of those things that lifestyle becomes about maintaining your weight losses, about actually getting to a goal weight and staying there if that is your goal, or it's about slowly losing weight week in, week out, because you're controlling how much you're eating, and because you're not ruling anything out. You can have some pasta, in my case, some pasta and rice, right? Because I'm not saying no, I'm never going to eat it again. I'm just saying I'm going to eat less of it, because as my lifestyle, I'm choosing to eat more vegetables and protein. It is one of those things, like I said, it is for everybody individually. But from my own experience, I've lost an awful lot of weight, but I still have a lot of weight to lose. And I can't stay on a diet for a year at a time. Mentally, I know I'll fall off the wagon. I will, like at Christmas. The trick for me has been about dieting for a goal. I want to get to X amount of weight in 4 weeks, so therefore I'm going to be really strict. I'm going to eat my chicken and broccoli. I lose weight on it, but after a week, I'm horrendously bored of it, and I don't want to see broccoli again for at least a month. So I couldn't do that long term. And for those people who can, thumbs up to you, brilliant. I applaud your focus and your willpower. I just know I can't. I like food too much. So the dieting specific, goal orientated, I want to lose 10 pounds in the next month, whatever it is. Then it becomes about lifestyle in terms of maintaining your loss or continuing to lose little bits. So that for me is the relationship between dieting and weight loss. I think it's great. I think dieting is brilliant. It's one of those things as a kick up the behind. It is great to get you to a goal. But dieting is not something that is maintainable long term. Just from the mental aspect of it, of knowing that because you're on a diet, and that word says I'm cutting things out, things I enjoy, I'm not going to have. So just the mental aspect of I'm on a diet. Can you really be on a diet forever? I suppose some people can, but I struggle with it. I really do. I can't cope with the idea of being on a diet. It's bad enough for a week or 2 weeks. So for me, it becomes about diet for short term, changing your lifestyle for long term. And although I said earlier about cutting your calories is the key to weight loss, and that exercise is less important, it still is a way of making you healthier and fitter and improving your overall wellness. So don't miss that bit out. But 90% of it is about the calories you take, the calories you eat, the type of calories, how hungry you're going to be when you eat, and all of that side. So if you can get to the point where you change your lifestyle, in my case, change my lifestyle from what got me to my starting weight, that is a massive thing. I started at 470 pounds or thereabouts, and I got there because I had the wrong lifestyle. I dieted to lose weight, I stopped dieting, I went back to my old lifestyle and I put the weight back on, and I ended up yo-yoing for years. Now, if you're looking to make a serious change in your life, as I am with mine, diet to meet a goal. Do it for a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever fits with you. But then it's about not going back to the lifestyle that actually put you there in the first place. So that does involve taking some exercise, going for a walk, getting up off your behind and doing a bit more. But it also means adjusting what you used to eat. I'm not saying stop eating it altogether, but what I am saying is that if you're losing weight on a diet, introducing a little bit of what you crave, but keeping the calories under your maintenance levels, will mean that your lifestyle changes and that you should maintain or go down. Or if you're wanting to put weight on, as somebody who reached out on YouTube was, they've been bulking up, so they've been eating more than the calories. But whatever you want, change your lifestyle to meet it. Okay, so diet for the short term, lifestyle for the long term, and that's where we are on this particular journey. So that's my take on dieting and weight loss and the relationship between them. Dieting for weight loss is great, but it's not sustainable long term. For that, you need to change your lifestyle to involve more exercise, but also to eat. The more weight you lose in a week. For me, as I've said many times, 1 to 2 pounds per week is what I'm aiming for. It's a healthy amount. I'm not cutting my calories, feeling full. I am having not going crazy, and therefore I'm not likely to, not impossible, but not likely to fall off the train nearly as much as I used to, which means that I'm less likely to start yo-yoing with the weight. So that for me, dieting and weight loss, I should say dieting, lifestyle and weight loss. And I hope that helps. I just wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you very much if you've got this far in the video. Thank you very much for following along, and I really do hope that it helps you in terms of your weight loss journey, or even fitness journey, to be perfectly honest. As always, if you liked it, please do smash the like button, and of course, if you want to follow along with future videos, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll be informed of all the videos going forward. So thank you very much for following along, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.